I came across this question. A student brought this to me, and I decided to let the world and my viewers know much about this topic. Don't forget, I am Dixon Chukwuemeka. Now, these questions or these questions border on what we call the topic called Concord. Concord. Look at the questions. Please, let's look at these questions. Dash a lot of arguments for and against car loans in the press recently. Is it there are a lot of arguments, or do we say there has been a lot of arguments, or do we say there have been a lot of arguments, or do you say there is a lot of arguments? Which one is the correct answer? And that is what the student asked me. Another question, look at the questions he brought. The buildings damaged by rainstorms, schools, hospitals, and private houses. Rainstorm includes school, included schools, were included schools. Just go through these questions, and the teaching of this topic, Concord, shall help you to understand which is to be used. Meanwhile, what is Concord? Concord stands for, let's just say, is an agreement. An agreement. In English language, Concord is an agreement between subjects and verb in a sentence, or an agreement between pronoun and its antecedent. Now, looking at this, the cardinal word I must take note of is agreement. How does a verb agree with a subject? Of course, you should know what is subject by now. The subject in elementary school knowledge of English language, subject we say is the doer of an action. The doer of an action. Dixon speaks English language fluently. Now, who does the action? Who speaks? Dixon. Dixon is a subject, okay? Dixon is what? The subject, Dixon. Dog, yam, book. All of them are subjects. Now, even he, she, these pronouns are subjects. It, we, I, they, these are subjects. The doers of action. Now, you know the verb? Verb is the action. So what did Dixon do? Or what do you know Dixon now for in this sentence? Speak. Speaks. We have speak. We have laugh. Laughs. Take note of this. Laughs, speak, laugh. Speak, speak, laugh, laughs. Understand this. Is, was, are, where. These are verbs. Take note of that. Now look at this. Having no subject and verb, let's look at the rules of Concord. Concord has rules, and we shall look at the rules that has to do with these questions. Rule 1. Take note of this. Singular subjects or singular subjects, let's use this. Singular subject goes with singular verb. That's to tell you that there are subjects that are singular, there are verbs that are also singular. Just as we have singular and plural in a subject that is noun or pronoun, we also have singular verbs and plural verbs. Let's look at this, for instance. Now, Emmanuel. For example, how many persons? Singular, 1. Singular. Emmanuel. The verb must also be singular. That is what we say here. Singular subject goes with singular verb. Emmanuel is good. You see? 1, the verb is. Now we have teachers. How many? Plural. More than 1. You see? More than 1. Teachers are good. Now the verb is this. Are. Now for your information, take note of this. If you are a beginner, take note that singular subjects singular subjects does not end in S. See it, boy is singular. Girl is singular. In this case, it must go with verb. It must go with what we call singular verb. How do you know singular verb? How do you know singular verbs? Singular verbs are verbs that has S plus S. Now, look at it. Boy or the boy. The boy is good. You don't say, it is wrong to say the boy are good. It is wrong. This are, does it have S? No. In present form, no S. So this cannot go with the boy. Now, girl. The girl, for example, the girl speaks. Do you see S here now? This S shows that This is singular verb. The girl speaks good English. The girl speaks good English language. Do you understand this? Speaks, go with the girl. Singular, singular with S. Speaks. It is wrong for you to say the girl speak good English language. No, it's wrong. It speaks. Now look at this. Let's look at the plural form. The plural form. The plural subject. The plural subject. Now, the boys. Do you see S here? There is S there. The girls. The girls. Now, the verb that must follow here should be plural verbs. Now, what do we mean? They are verbs. How do you know plural verb? They are verb without S. Minus S. Okay. The boys are here. They are here. Look at the word. Are, no S. The girl speak. Speak, not speaks. No. Now let's look at these questions. Do you have something like that? Of course, this second part is rule 2. Let me clean this so I can state it clearly. Rule 2. So I state it clearly. Rule 2. Rule number 2 says that plural subjects goes with plural verb. We said it here. Example. The girls, plural subject. This is plural subject. The girls are verb. This is plural verb, no S. Plural verb. Are fighting. Are fighting now. Now look at this. The girls are fighting now. Now, plural, no S. You understand this by this. Now look at rule number 3. Rule number 3. The rule states that when singular, subject is joined by and, that is with another singular subject, the verb should be plural. Or when, okay, let's understand this. Let's understand this. What do we mean by this? Where we have the conjunction and, the word and, conjunction and, in between two singular subjects, then the verb will be in plural form. For instance, For example, John and James. What will be the verb? Are here. Now look at this. This and affects this. So looking at this, John and James are here. Plural verb. Going by this, we move to rule number 4. Then we'll come back to these questions. Rule number 4. Rule 4. When singular subjects is joined by conjunction and, by the conjunction and, or by and, anyhow you put it, by this conjunction and, with another singular subject and it means the same person or thing. Singular verb should be used. Should be used. What do we mean by this? We mean by this rule that when we have two subjects that are singular, those two subjects that are singular are joined by and it means the same person or the same thing, then the subject, the verb should be singular. Do we have such thing here? I think. Let's look at this question number 3. The new president and members of his cabinet, they are not the same, are they? Okay, let's look at another question. Okay, our principal, very good. Number 5. Our principal and chairman of the occasion just arrived. This question, look at it. Our principal here is a subject, and the chairman of the occasion. The principal is also the chairman of the occasion. So the verb here must be what? Singular. That's what we mean by this. When a singular subject is joined by the conjunction, please put the here, by the conjunction and with another singular subject, and it means the same person, the principal is also the chairman. is also the chairman. So, the principal is also the chairman in this question. The answer should be what? Has. Which is what? Singular verb. Singular verb. Now look at this. Rule number 5. But how would you know? Okay, look at this. Rule number 5. Let's look at rule number 5. When singular subject is joined by a and, with another singular subject, and it means different persons or thing. The verb should be in plural form. What do I mean by this? When two subjects are used and they mean different persons, what we shall use is plural verb. But the question now is, how do we know when it means different persons, like in the case of rule 4 and rule 5? How do we know? Now look at this. Our principle. Look at these two questions. Our what? Principle. And chairman of the occasion. And look at this number 1. Number 2, our principle and the chairman of the occasion. These two sentences, we explain this better. How you will know when it means the same person is that there will be no determiner. You know what is determiner? Determiner. I think you have to go to my channel and get my teachings on determiner. Determiner could be determiner could be an article. Determiner could be possessive article like a and there. It could be possessive pronouns as, my. Even determiner could be 1, 2, so on and so forth. So now, when we have two subjects, like this, our principle and two subjects join, even this chairman is a subject. When we have this case, now look at, you have to know, or this is the way you should know, or this is the way you will know that it refers to the same person. There is no determiner in this question, in this number 1. Our principal and chairman. Do we have that there? No. Do we have ours there? No. Of course, the determiner should come before a title. Please, when we have the second part being a title, Determinant coming before the title means they are different persons. Look at this number 2. Our principal and the chairman there is a determinant. And the chairman, this means that the principal is different from the chairman. But in number 1, the principal is also the chairman. So let's look at these questions, please. A lot of arguments for and against car loan in the press recently. Now look at it. Arguments. What is this? Arguments. So the answer is there are a lot of arguments. This is the answer. There are a lot of arguments for. Are you following? There are a lot of arguments. Arguments are. Now we move to number 2. The buildings, singular or plural? Plural. Buildings is not only one. Damaged by rainstorm, dash, schools, hospitals, and private houses. So what should be the answer? Is it the buildings damaged by rainstorm includes, or do you say include, or do you say included, or do you say we are included? The answer, buildings, should not go with this. But when we have building, one, it can go with this. I've told you how you have the way or how to know singular noun. This is singular noun, having S. Then the verb should be singular verb. How do you know singular? Sorry, this is plural. Sorry, this is plural noun. And it must go with plural verb. That is the verb without S is plural, which is include. But this one is singular. And this is plural. Plural must go with plural and not singular. Okay? So the answer is the buildings damaged by rainstorm includes school, hospitals, and private houses. Now, the new president and members of his cabinet. New president and members of his cabinet. Plural. They are talking of the president and members. Now look at this. God always. The new president and members of his cabinet. Okay, that we are there. God always dash us when we pray. Now, God, how many? Is it singular or plural? God is one. One. Singular. So the verb here should be what? Singular verb. So God, is it blessed? No, this is plural verb. Blessing. The answer is what? Blesses. God always blesses us when we pray. This answer to rule number 1. Now, number 5. Our principal and chairman. This is title. This is what? Title. Our principal and chairman, meaning the principal is also the chairman. Had it been we have a determinant here, there, mine, one, a, so on and so forth, then it will change. The issue will not be the same. Now, our principal and the chairman of the occasion just arrived. So what will be the answer? Has just arrived. So the answer here should be has. one person. This is rule number 4. Rule number 4. Now, his uncle, and mentor. Now, look at this. This is a title. This title does not have before it any determiner. So it means that the uncle is also the mentor. So his uncle and mentor dash always been very supportive. The answer should be what? Has. Because uncle goes with has. That is just it. Viewers, I know you understand this. More of these rules will be explained, made easy in our next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.